We are back here on the National Hour. It's great to have you guys joining us here today. I'm Darius Thigpen.
I'm Jeffrey Hammersley.
Jeff, the new guy, joining us here on the National Hour. It's great to have him here. It's great to have you here. We'll talk some NFL for you right now. Let's get right to it. RG3, Robert Griffin III, is insistent, Jeff, on playing in Week 1. It's been a whole saga going on in the nation's capital, as you are well aware of.
Yeah, I am from the D.C. area, so right now the RG3 topic right now, ever since that last playoff game against Seattle, that's all D.C.'s talked about. Will he come back for Week 1? What's the deal? How long is the surgery? How long is the rehab? But right now, right decision to bring him back Week 1. I understand he wants to play Darius, but how is he truly 100%?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it was like back in May when he's like up on stage jumping around, and then in June and in July in training camp he looked good. In preseason he hasn't played, but he's been doing his warm-ups. He looks like he's ready to play. He's anxious.
I mean, you want that in a quarterback, and that's very good. But I think the question is, I know he wants to play, but truly look into those numbers. Is that late? Unless you're 100% sure, I'll even try to say 110% sure with four opinions. Because the last thing you want to do is have him go on there, make a bad cut, and it's Seattle all over again where his leg goes out and you're back to square one with him rehabbing.
And that's the thing that you have to look at it too, from the coach's perspective, from general manager's perspective, Dan Snyder, everyone in the Redskins organization. What do you think they're telling RG3 right now?
I think they're telling him, like, just take it easy a little bit and just – you'll know when that leg's 100% ready, because right now it's just RG3's like, I want to go out there, I want to win for my team, and I want to bring a Super Bowl to Washington. But they can't do that. If he gets injured, they can't do that. I get that Cousins is a great backup, and you have Grossman too, but RG3 is the catalyst of this entire equation.
Right. And one thing that we could see change in Washington as well, they could go away from the pistol offense at times. They could rely a little bit more on the straight running game, giving off to their fantastic second-year back, who also had a great rookie season, Alfred Morris. Could see a bit more out of him, a bit more of a traditional passing game. Okay, so, well, we're going to go from one team that had a really good 2012-2013 to a team who did not. That would be the New York Jets. So we've got so much to cover here. We can start with Tim Tebow. We can start with Mark Sanchez. How about we just show you this video that we have on Rex Ryan? We're just going to play this for you guys really quick.
I can say anything I want. That's the beauty of this country. I can answer it 100 times. Here, I'll stand backwards and answer the question. I'm going sideways. At the appropriate time, we'll make that the announcement when I think it's the appropriate time.
Rex, the last question.
Yes, Brian.
I understand why.
So Rex Ryan and Geno Smith and Mark Sanchez and everything going on there, I'm not even sure what to say.
I'm speechless. It's like if Hard Knocks was back here, this is the year Hard Knocks should have been in New York.
Hard Knocks exactly should have been there this year.
It's just, I don't know. It's right now, Rex Ryan, you can tell he's in the hot seat right now, especially brought in Geno, him underperforming. Sanchez, you putting him in preseason, he's getting paid buku dollars. But like, the only thing that can happen when you start a guy like that is he gets hurt, and he got hurt going into the fourth quarter.
He got hurt early in the game, and then they put him back in the game in the fourth quarter. It doesn't make sense at all.
You're paying that man so much money, and you're like, okay, go in there preseason. Game doesn't matter, but just go in there because we got to win the game. Do that week 3, 4, 14. Don't do that in the preseason.
And then Rex Ryan using it as his excuse that he wanted to win. It's the preseason, man.
I mean, it's unless they give out Super Bowls in the preseason, I get it, but they don't. I mean, it's like, why? It's like, do you want Geno? The conspiracy theory is now going to be he wants Geno Smith as the quarterback. They don't want Sanchez there.
I'll give you a bit of trivia right now. You remember the 2006 Detroit Lions and 0-16? They were 4-0 in the preseason. They won every preseason game. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, well,
preseason doesn't really mean a ton.
I mean, I guess it just boosts morale or something. But regular seasons, we're gonna make that. That's where you earn your dollars, and through that you go to the playoffs and you go to the postseason. But if your quarterback is hurt week 1 going in, the best you can do is hope that everyone keeps their job at the end of the season.
Okay, so real quick, we'll just objectively look at this based on talent. Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith, who should be the guy?
That's a tough question. I think Geno, he underperformed severely in that last preseason game. When you're running out of the end zone with safeties and stuff, I mean, I can't.
It's just funny.
I'm not going to endorse you say that kid, he is the future. He is going to start this season and for this team and right the ship. I think right now, Sanchez, I hate to say this word, Darius, he has the most experience right there of anybody in that line right there.
Yeah.
Put him in there, and when I guess the castle starts crumbling, you put Geno Smith in.
Well, here's the thing, too, though. I mean, you got to remember, all of these guys coming in, obviously, I mean, he's not an RG3 or an Andrew Luck, but Geno Smith is a rookie quarterback, and these rookie quarterbacks have been thrown into the fire. You look at Tannehill in Miami, he held his own. Brandon Weeden up in Cleveland, even though he's 40.
Yeah.
I mean, he held his own. I mean, these guys are getting experience from day one. I mean, even Andy Dalton. I mean,
That's true.
There's not too many guys who are coming in and like, okay, you're going to sit a year or two or learn, and we're going to wait till it goes bad. You're going to put in your best guy right now, and if your best guy is a rookie, I mean, even if he's a third-round pick like Russell Wilson last year, you're going to put him in.
I mean, I can see that, Darius.
So I could see it being Geno Smith.
I mean, I can see Sanchez and Geno being in there, but I think right now Sanchez, I mean, you began with him. You drafted this kid originally to start, and might as well get your money's worth and just put him in there and see what happens.
So from the bottom of the AFC East, let's go to the top. Let's talk about the Patriots. Now, that's a team that's had an interesting offseason. It's been up and down, and we had a lot going on. Everybody's been talking about, obviously, Aaron Hernandez with the murder trial. Rob Gronkowski, excuse me, his injury. He's just been up and down, back and forth.
That's a whole thing there.
You look at these guys. Brandon Lloyd was cut. Wes Welker, free agency.
Yeah.
Their top 5 receivers from last year are gone. Even not Julian Edelman, but Danny Woodhead.
Yeah.
He's off in San Diego.
It's like I was telling you earlier before the show. It's like I woke up one morning. I thought I knew who the Patriots wide receiving core was, and I look at the roster, and it's like, I don't know anybody on this team right now. It's just like there's such a rebuilding process, and with so many things happening around, like between if it's not a murder trial, it's guys getting not healing correctly, or guys getting cut in free agency and all that fun stuff. It's just, what does Tom Brady have to work with this season?
Well, right now his top returning receiver that is healthy, so obviously outside of Gronkowski, is going to be Julian Edelman. And he's a slot receiver who played quarterback in college. I mean, he can play the Wes Welker role, but obviously he's not Wes Welker.
Yeah, long past the days that where Tom Brady had Randy Moss. He had a whole.
When he had Gronk and Hernandez, even last year.
It didn't matter who was there. There was stars to catch footballs. Now it's like he started from ground zero trying to rebuild this team. If Brady can make some big numbers this season, I think that's extraordinary, saying that what's happened to that entire organization this offseason.
Well, outside of Julian Edelman, who we already talked about, a couple guys who are going to ask to step up. Danny Amendola, who had a really good career in St. Louis playing with the Rams, did a very solid job out there playing with a less talented team around him. Now he's coming into the New England Patriots style of football. We'll see how that goes. Shane Vereen, running back at Cal, they're going to ask him to catch the ball out of the backfield. And a tight end who we know pretty well around here, Jake Ballard, who played here at Ohio State. Buckeye is going to be up there for the Patriots. So not exactly the top laundry list of receiving threats, but they've got guys who can be serviceable.
I mean, absolutely. It could be a lot worse for the Patriots right now. I mean, you could have essentially no team chemistry or anything going for you, but like you have Amendola, as you said earlier, St. Louis. That's where he made his bread and butter for his career. Edelman, pretty good, and then Jake Ballard, pretty good here at Ohio State. And I think you give him the right opportunities in New England, I think he can make it.
I mean, that's the thing. Playing with Tom Brady, I mean, you can make any receiver good playing with Brady. I mean, he's one of those guys. He elevates the play of others around him. So going off from a great quarterback, a proven quarterback, to a guy who's not as proven, but we'll see what happens with his career. Terrelle Pryor. Remember him from his Ohio State days. He's going to have his shot now in Oakland, as he's going to be starting the 4th preseason game for the Oakland Raiders. And right now he has the inside track to being the starter in Week 1, as Matt Flynn has proved to be pretty inept at quarterback for the Raiders after Seattle just paid him a ton last year.
Yeah, oh boy.
So now it's going to be Terrelle Pryor in the running for starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's Terrelle Pryor. Really, it's aside from Pryor, just look at Matt Flynn. That guy had so much potential. We're thinking, this guy's going to make it, and now it's Terrelle Pryor can beat him out for the starting job. But really for Terrelle Pryor, ever since leaving Ohio State here, it's like you're thinking he may not make it, but then he goes in a supplemental draft to Oakland. Rough patch last season, but this season, if he gets the right chances, he can run, make some. He can get some yards for Oakland, maybe a few wins in the process.
All right, finally, with NFL today, we got to get into the injury concerns. There's been tackling at the knees. That has been brought up in discussion for being eliminated from the game, tackling at the knee and below. Obviously, concussions have been huge throughout the NFL the last few years. As a matter of fact, today there was the concussion trial, the lawsuit that just went through, and NFL is going to have to pay up $765 million to a bunch of former players and the lawyers and paying it to their state. So the NFL is going to have to pay for the concussion lawsuit. But, $765 million to hundreds and thousands of former players, that's kind of spreading it out.
Yeah, you're right, Darius. And there's this. They're at least saying that we have a problem now with the player safety, because if you're putting that kind of money into concussions, it's like if you do that with concussions, it's like guys getting injured, like career-ending injuries, guys with who have trouble waking up in the morning or they can't sleep. It's just this whole boat of problems post-career in the NFL. But I really think tackling and all that stuff, like the big story, like tackling below the knees, I can see why they want to cut that, because if you go after the legs of a guy, that's how guys make their living here. If you can't run or you can't stay upright, you're not going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah, but it's also making it really tough for the defense now, because you have guys who can't tackle below the knees, can't tackle above the shoulders. Well, might as well go to flag football pretty soon. It's going to be tough for defensive guys out there. So we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have some baseball for you. We're also going to have some more college football coming up. You're watching the National Hour here on Buckeye TV.